What's up, everybody? I'm going to talk to you today about how you can start reversing insulin resistance in your body if you have a hemoglobin A1C of 5.7 and over, and you're showing some of the signs of insulin resistance. So let's dive into it. Insulin resistance is something that happens when our pancreas, it produces insulin. Insulin gets the sugar into cells, but over time, when our blood sugar, when we keep eating foods that are high in refined carbohydrates, high in the wrong kind of fats, seed oils, hydrogenated fats, our sugar is actually spiked more of the time. Our cells can literally not hold any more sugar. So it stops opening the cells to insulin. And this is a big problem because our cells actually won't allow sugar to get inside, so it stays in the bloodstream. This actually starts damaging the small vessels of our body, in our fingers, our toes, our brain, our eyes, and it's a path to diabetes if it's not reversed. And this is why diabetes is actually a big problem in the United States. It's actually ruining millions of Americans' lives because we don't know how to manage insulin resistance and get ahead of it before it starts to create this huge disaster that is damage that really is irreversible in many cases. So I will go over some of the things that you can start doing today to help reduce, reverse, and stop being insulin resistant for the rest of your life. And the first thing you're going to do, if you haven't already, is go to your doctor and ask for a hemoglobin A1C test. That will tell you whether or not you have some insulin resistance going on. So hemoglobin A1C is a test that can measure the history of your blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. It will look at your red blood cells, and there's ways to tell from that lab test how your sugar has been doing. And so the lab, they will give a scoring for it, and they will give you a result. The other thing you're going to want to do is get a fasting insulin level and get fasting blood sugar level and a fasting lipid panel. The reason for this is you want many data points to point you in the direction of how bad is it, do I have it at all, and then it'll help your doctor and your healthcare team understand what steps you need to take, to help reverse this. But here are some really, really helpful lifestyle tips that you can do that everyone really should be doing to keep a healthy body on the inside and manage your blood sugar. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is start making your food from home. Eat foods that you're making yourself and you know what ingredients are inside. I want you to avoid seed oils, so anything grapeseed, canola, vegetable oils, and seed oils. The reason for this is they have omega-6 fatty acids, which when we have too many omega-6 fatty acids, this can become a source of inflammation because we're not eating enough omega-3s. So we need to actually we have to be intentional about reducing our omega-6 fatty acid intake and really only getting as much, as the omega-6s that we need from foods like nuts and seeds. Those have, a good profile built in, and that's where we can get our good omega-6 sources. But start cooking with coconut oil, avocado oil, and certified organic olive oil. Choose organic whenever possible. The best foods to eat organic are the ones that you can't peel the layer off the outside. So think about your produce. Like, you can peel the layer of the orange off. You're not eating the peel. So the inside fruit is actually protected from a bulk of the pesticides and herbicides that would otherwise be sprayed on non-organic food. And I would advocate for all meat to be organic, pasture-raised, grass-fed, hormone-free, non-GMO. Look for the highest quality meat that you possibly can and eat that when you eat meat. It's really easy to get conventional meat that says all natural, but all natural is just a marketing ploy. Like, you don't want to eat food that says all natural on it unless it says all of the other things as well, because it really doesn't mean anything. You don't want to eat those. So like berries, make sure they're organic. Spinach, leafy greens, organic, because yet again, they're sprayed. Keep in mind that whenever you go out, unless they advertise that they cook with organic foods, you're not getting organic foods. So keep that in the back of your mind, reduce eating out. It takes discipline. It takes planning ahead. I'm battling with it. It's hard. I'm telling you. Like, I feel like I've done so much to improve my life. You don't really need to do as much as you think. It's just that you have to be consistent. And that's why I think a lot of people, they just don't start because it sounds like everything's going to change and I'm not going to even enjoy my life anymore, which is, it's a lie. It's not true. Like, you're going to enjoy your life more when you're healthy and you feel your best and you're not developing a chronic health condition secondary to diabetes, which happens to almost everyone. If your diabetes goes left unchecked, you get heart disease, you get dementia, and it's just a path that you don't want yourself or your family going down, especially your parents. I'm 30 and I am starting to be mindful of this only in the last 5 years. I'm so glad that I started to know about this early on so that I can take care of my brain and, do things that will prevent high blood sugar, insulin resistance, and diabetes from forming down the road. So as you know, I had pre-diabetes also, and I had I had fasting blood sugars of 110, hemoglobin A1C of 6, and I was able to reduce those from those numbers down to 5 hemoglobin A1C and also 90 fasting blood sugar. And then 89, I think, was my latest one. But it wasn't like an overnight process for my fasting glucose. So I also recognize the benefit of being consistent over time. The other thing you're going to want to do is incorporate some sort of strength training where you're activating your muscles, especially the bigger muscles in your body like your glutes, your hamstrings. The big muscle groups in your legs are the biggest muscles in your body, which are going to recruit more glucose from the carbohydrates that you take in. So your body will actually have someplace to put that energy and it won't be more encouraged to store it as fat for later. So we want to be able to encourage our body on a regular basis to use more carbohydrates, glucose for energy to keep those muscles operating well. And that is a really good strategy for reducing insulin resistance and blood sugar. It will help your whole body. And it's just something really simple. It's good for longevity. It's good for bone support and keeping your body strong and from degenerating throughout your lifespan. The other thing that will be really impactful to help support you in creating these lifestyle changes, if you have a sweet tooth like I do, is swapping your sugars or baked, like your baked goods. Make them from home, but also get like a sweetener like allulose or monk fruit extract. A lot of those sweeteners are in granulated form. They actually look like sugar. Monk fruit blends are usually 1-to-1 replacements. Monk fruit erythritol blends, I will say. But allulose is actually my top favorite one because it's just pure allulose. It's called a rare sugar, and it has a dual benefit. So not only does it not affect blood sugar, so if you eat it, your blood sugar is not going to be affected. It tastes sweet, so it tastes like sugar. It has the most pleasant taste out of all of the alternative sweeteners. It's natural. It's from fruits, foods that we already eat. It's actually in there already. There's been research coming out that is saying that it supports reduction in diabetes, and I'm not sure if that's because it has prebiotic properties as well that help feed the gut bacteria, and it allows for blood sugar control. That's my hypothesis on why it helps reduce type 2 diabetes and help people go in the right direction. But I just thought that was so cool because I've been onto allulose for years now, and now these things are just coming out, and I can be somebody with a personal testimony to allulose and just say how amazing it is. So try that out. I usually buy mine on Amazon because that's, you can't really find it in grocery stores reliably. The blend at Trader Joe's has stevia in it, and I think it tastes a little bit weird because stevia has a strong taste, but I would get mine on Amazon. You can buy it in bulk, like 4-pound bags for cooking and baking. You see me making recipes on my shorts. They're all sweetened with allulose, and they taste amazing. You do have to use a little bit more. So like 1 cup of sugar, if you want the same degree of sweetness, just add a 1/3 cup more in addition. So let's say a recipe calls for 1 cup of sugar, you're going to add 1 1/3 cup allulose instead. of the sugar to get the same level of sweetness. I prefer to have my things just a little bit less sweet, so if there's a cup, I usually just get a mounding cup. Like, I don't measure an extra third, and that works really well for me. So making like your own sweets and doing those in bulk and having those around, like, let's say you work at a place, you go out to your job and you like want something sweet in the afternoon, or you like a pastry with your coffee or something. Bring one of your own homemade muffins with you so you can enjoy that with your coffee instead of getting something that's like almost as many calories as an entire meal, and it doesn't really even do anything for you. It spikes your blood sugar. It doesn't really fill you up. It's really a shame. And I just can't advocate for this enough. You'll get nutrients from that. It's obviously not like, you know, the most nutrient dense type of food. You're going to want to be eating regular meals full of nutrient dense food and of fiber, proteins, fats, and healthy carbohydrates. But this strategy has helped me heal. I used to struggle with binge eating. I was pre-diabetic during the time where I was really bad with my bulimia, and there was I had no way to turn. I couldn't even explain how frustrated I was. I felt like, what is life? Like, is this all life is? And I just kind of felt like I was trapped. But gut healing, changing these things that I'm telling you now, they made such a difference. And I started really small. When I started exercising for like 7 minutes in the morning because that's all I could really do. I was not used to it. I felt overwhelmed by it. And there were some days that all I could commit to was taking the stairs, but that little tiny commitment of like doing something movement for my body regularly, it kept my brain primed for, okay, I move my body every day. I do something for my body like this every day. This is a habit that I'm making. I didn't just do 7-minute workouts for the rest, between now and then. I would, honestly, some days I would do 2 workouts. I would be working out for even a couple hours just because my energy was so good and I felt good working out. And it wasn't in the name of like burning off any calories. It was literally because I wanted to move my body. And that was something I built up to. So those are my favorite tips for combating insulin resistance. Let me know if you have any questions, type them below, and share your experience that you've had with high blood sugar, prediabetes, diabetes, and what you're up against. If you have any challenges right now, I could make a video answering those questions that you have, and I'll see you in the next one.